As I've mentioned in previous videos, last month an individual called Kashimu got in touch with me. I agreed that the majority of our conversation would remain private. However, I made that promise with the caveat that, should what she told me turn out to be of pressing enough public interest, my agreement would not hold. And, ladies and gents, given what has occurred since our initial conversation, that agreement ain't holding. I'm going to start by showing you some things you're unlikely to have an issue with, and then I will explain why I have a bit of a different perspective on them. Kashimu likes to brag publicly about being a bit of a creep hunter. She'll say things like, "We lolicons are the ones who hunt predators," and happily soak up masses of attention for her virtue. Another thing that caught my eye was an individual who goes by Kashimu sharing some messages they had with Kashimu. In these messages, it is stated a couple of times that the behavior being discussed between them was intended to scare maps away from Kashimu's community. She reiterates a couple times she wants to scare them away, she wants them to be frightened to come near. Sounds good, right? Most people do not want these freaks anywhere around them, they don't want them approaching. And all the bragging, that makes sense too, right? Surprise, I'm not a fan of those kinds of people either. Makes sense to be proud of screwing them over. For me though, this info hits very differently, and I find it very concerning, in fact. You see, Kashimu gave me 2 reasons she wanted our conversation to remain private. Reason 1, she told me, was that she doesn't want recognition for her predator hunting. She doesn't want anyone to thank her for it because she does it for herself, because she wants to do it and doesn't want anything in return. For me, this doesn't exactly line up with her bragging and basking in praise under the bragging posts. A little bit of hypocrisy, not the end of the world, but something else that I find more genuinely worrying is another contradiction. You see, as I've shown you, when some of the ways she behaves are questioned, she'll tell people that the whole goal of her behavior is to keep these people away, make them scared, make them uncomfortable trying to come into her community. But she told me that it is very important what we talked about not be made public, because if the peds find out, they will stop wanting to join her community. Which one is it? What's real? The whole point of everything she was telling me was that, far from wanting to scare them away, she deliberately attracts them so that she can catch them. Now, obviously, on its face, this is incredibly foolish and reckless. This is playing with fire. Now, call me a glowy shill, but I think massive honeypot operations should probably be left to the feds. And I say massive because she claims that her strategy has led to her encountering thousands of instances of CSAM distribution. If you believe her numbers, that means almost 1 in 4 of the people who try to join her community are CSAM distributors. I don't think this is a job for some airhead dingus. Something is horribly wrong. Or she's a liar. Additionally, her strategy is nonsense. The idea is that she needs to draw them in so she can check their bios and then look at their profiles. But obviously, there are much easier, more efficient ways of doing this than using 10,000 plus people as unwilling, unwitting pedophile bait. Now, of course, nailing these people as you happen to see them is one thing, but if you want to hunt these people, as Kashimu calls it, firstly, most people shouldn't be doing it. I certainly don't do it. And secondly, there are much better ways. Personally, I'd describe deliberately running a lolicon pedo honeypot as insane, dangerous, or maybe misguided. But apparently there's another description that can be used, because apparently this kind of behavior can be described as the norm. Kashimu told me that many of her lolicon friends do similar things and help, each within their possibilities. Funnily enough, this is the context in which Kashimu told me about BittyCat, one of her allies in this project. Kashimu told me that BittyCat did the same thing. And because of BittyCat's ban, thanks to all those antis, hundreds of peds will be able to continue committing real abuses against minors. Now, as you might remember, in my video that's now been taken down by community strike because the content was so horrific, I let everyone know that I warned Kashimu her buddy might not be quite what she thinks, and I shared a significant amount of evidence. Now, I portrayed what I was doing as me being a mastermind, sending out feelers, but no, in reality, I decided to trust Kashimu as a well-meaning ditz. My bad, because Kashimu took the information I gave her, warned BittyCat instead of broaching the topic delicately to get more info, which I thought a lolicon could pull off, whereas if I message him, And in fact, co-authored BittyCat's first nonsensical statement. Didn't want to point this out before now because I didn't want to burn my contact. But yeah, in the face of overwhelming evidence that BittyCat was doing what she has now admitted she was doing, which is deliberately creating content for, pandering to, growing a community of pedophiles, supposedly because, it helps stop them from offending, which they know is true because all their pedo friends say it works. Friends who, by the way, they had at least hundreds of. Kashimu's move was to downplay it publicly and directly to me and get directly involved in damage control. Even saying to me that them suddenly deleting and hiding everything makes it clearer to her that they are not pedophiles and do not want to have any relationship with them, despite that being the obvious, explicit, and unhidden point of the entire Bitty Cat project from the start. I mean, in July 2023 on one of those Q&A sites, Bitty Cat was asked, "Are you a map yourself?" and she answers, "I don't think so. I don't really get sexual arousal like that, but I know people who are, and they cool, because they don't let that define who they are, and I think that takes guts." I mean, even the guy she's been running all this stuff with over the years is openly one of them. "Oh, I loved Bitty Cat and all their stuff, but I had no idea." Okay, dude, you're lucky stuff gets taken down when I post even a taste of what was going on. Now, I'm sure some of you will be on board with this idea of strategizing to run a honeypot. You might even be mad at me for letting people know, even though they brag about it openly. And her saying, "Oh, don't tell anyone, it will help the creeps," is clearly just a defense mechanism, should I ever talk about it. Anyway, even if you support the idea that running an operation like this is a good idea, the cartoon gooners are all heroes, surely you must at least agree that not everyone is fit to be in charge of such things. And regarding that, I'm going to put forward a very simple suggestion. Kashimu is a delusional, unstable retard. In the aftermath of my videos and a lolicon flipping allegiance, going from defending Bitty Cat to nuking her, and apologizing to me for some reason as if I give a shit, many things happened. You may have seen Bitty Cat claims a maniac hunted her down with a steak knife and tried to kill her, leaving only the faintest gunt scratch. But other more real and serious things also occurred. Ruru, Bitty Cat's quote-unquote brother, who is apparently actually just her incest roleplay boyfriend, started posting more threats on Twitter. He said, "I like how people are suddenly telling me don't be vengeful after I said the truth about certain creators around here. Makes you go, It's sad kinda. I've already taken the screenshots. Deleting the proof isn't going to do shit. You think me and Bitty are taboo? Let's have fun outing the illegal CSEM ring around here among creators. But hey, I don't snitch. Don't worry at creators who know. Not until you piss me off enough. Here's information you shouldn't ignore. Did you know that there is a private group of lolicon creators that have shared a CP video of a mother raping their son, very low age? These are creators that most of you know too. I was told by one of them that was there. Call me a villain, I don't care. There are no pedos in lolicon spaces. What? This never happens. I know so few. You know who you are. Don't think I don't know. Have fun discussing this leaking information. I'll have a lot fun watching the totally random breaks in friendships. Smiley face. This appears not to have been an idle threat. It was not long before a new Bitty Cat account posted a conversation with the trustworthy, responsible pedo hunter, Kashimu, in which Kashimu made claims of CSAM being shared and called someone a pedo, presumably this Bambi individual. Kashimu addresses this in a tweet. She said, "I recently found out that Bitty uploaded some private screenshots about another topic, and there were people who asked me about it. If I made that clarification to Chichi on Discord, who was one of the people who asked me, it was to clear Bambi and Sprout's name, as seen in the screenshot. I don't hate them, I just don't care about them, but I couldn't stand to see someone being called a pedophile when they're not." I mean, that was literally you, dog, but okay. The attached screenshot shows Kashimu saying, "Hi Chi, just saw the screenshots, you don't have to stop supporting them, I'm going to explain it clearly so you can have context. 1. The screenshots of my conversation with Bitty are real. 2. The information I had previously is outdated as it turned out to be incorrect. Last week I was informed that the screenshots I saw about these VTubers were edited and manipulated, so I currently have no evidence to suggest that these VTubers are pedophiles or possess any illegal material. For my part, I have chosen to distance myself from those who provided me with this erroneous and manipulated information. I consider them to be people who no longer deserve my trust for what they did. 3. Due to recent events, I didn't have the chance to update Bitty about this new information before she shared the screenshots. I'm sure she acted with the best intentions and was looking out for everyone's well-being. Please be kind to her. As I am no longer able to DM Kashimu on Discord, I messaged her on Twitter with a document containing a number of questions, including, where did the original claim come from? What exactly is in all the screenshots? Who told her they were fake? And how did she confirm that? This was sent on Monday the 3rd, and I have not received a reply at the time of this video's publication. As an aside, I would like to just mention that this sort of behavior is deranged. I cover all sorts of freaks, but there's a line where it doesn't become YouTube fodder. People have asked, why don't you cover real actual mega crimes and direct evidence? When it's stuff that's already widely public, I do cover it. But when I'm dicking around looking at weirdos on my own, if I get in sniffing distance of that, to a tip line. And I don't go any further myself. I thought that was common sense, but apparently amongst certain groups of people, that sort of thing is whispered gossip, a card you can hold to your chest to whip out when useful. And on that topic of dealing with things bizarrely and inappropriately, there was another response to BittyCat's disclosure of her conversation with Kashimu. As briefly mentioned at the start of the video, an individual who goes by Kashimu shared a conversation she had with Kashimu. They stated, my negative interactions with them began when I was in Kashimu's Twitter group. In said group, there was an AI post which was oddly realistic and made me uncomfortable. This post came from the user Redacted. After seeing this, I got a bad feeling and viewed their account. Alarmingly, they were a pedophile. Shocking. I learned this through their interactions with an account ran by a 13-year-old called Redacted. Small note, it's an account claiming to be 13. Guess what pedos often do? That's beside the point though. Kashimu informed Kashimu about all of this, and the fact that a creep was trying to solicit the account claiming to be that of a child. And Kashimu, busy with New Year's stuff, decided she wanted to wait and talk to that person first. She had no time to just ban them, only time to talk about not doing it. Kashimu, frustrated that this person continued to be active and interacting with people, sent Kashimu a disapproving message and blocked her. Kashimu claims that in retaliation, Kashimu put her on blast and framed her as an anti. And here's where things go off the rails. After Kashimu pointed out that Kashimu included Kashimu's name in her posts about it despite claiming she didn't, and showed everyone, Kashimu had a total meltdown in their Discord DMs. No effing way, F. Give me a sec, sorry, my effing fault, sorry F, I'm a effing stupid, sorry I have deleted it. Kissy says, thank you. It's really just to scare away the effing disgusting peds. Please, if someone is going to say something to you, tell me and I will come to your defense, this is my fault. Kissy says, yep, and that's fine. Like I said, I can send you the screenshots of the ped and you can post. Sorry, let me cut myself first. I'm really good for nothing. I'm good for nothing. I deserve it. I guess you really did well to block me. Ha ha ha, I'm useless. I try to ban effing maps and it goes wrong. I'm making an announcement to scare the maps and it goes wrong. Lamau, I deserve it. What hurts me the most is having lost a friend like you because I really admire you and appreciate you very much. I don't even know how to write English well. Lamau, I've reached that level of uselessness. Babu has also blocked me. Hey, that's the person she was accusing earlier. I deserve it. I'm an idiot. I deserve it. I always liked her a lot. I followed her through my lists. I already helped her from the shadows to gain follower when they took down her account. As a fun little note, Kashimu claims to know that Kashimu has never even spoken to this person, which I think amps up the creepiness a good notch. She's a good girl. She's very good. She's a really good person and very funny. And now she hates me because I'm an idiot. Ha 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 ha, I deserve it. Idiots deserve to have these things happen to them, and I am one of them. Wonderful. The map honeypot that catches supposedly thousands of CSAM distributors is in stable hands, I see. Reminder again, these are the people about whom Kashimu said, when I made the announcement that I was banning maps and pedos in my community, they must have felt betrayed. And that's why they stopped talking to me. But it's fine though, because now that little whisper campaign was made public by BittyCat, Kashimu has said, oh, it was all fake, someone tricked me. All clean, all clear. This isn't insane. Please keep giving me likes, retweets, ass pats for being the great predator hunter. To be fair though, she did respond to Kashimu in a tweet by explaining how terrible Kashimu is for sharing messages she sent while having an anxiety attack. Well, ladies and gents, that's all for now. Hope you've had a good time. Just thought you should know, just thought everyone should know that when you see those tweets circulating of that blue-haired cartoon girl saying, we're the real predator hunters, this is what they're talking about. And one last thing before I go, a suggestion. Don't try to pull weird shit on me. I don't like it.
Kashimu was talking to harmful opinions in Discord DMs before the video was released. She does pride herself in turning antis into lolicons, and I think this is an instance gone wrong.